tell our friends to fuck
But
off.
no, hey, they're friends though. They're like my imaginary friends. So hey, motherfucker, what did you think about should we I guess we're gonna start with Midsommar today, right?
Yeah, Midsummer, and I gotta say, when you told me to watch Midsummer and you told me it was a breakup film, I said, "Oh, a Keen breakup," and then I initially thought it was a romance film, and then you were like, "Ah, it's not romance," and then I asked, "Okay, what's the genre?" And you were like, "Just watch it." And so when you said that, like, part of me knew, like, come on, Nasser, you can't be that naive to think Akeem will recommend a romance film. Like, unless he was high or he was doing it to fuck with you, like, that's just not gonna happen. So I'm looking up the film to get it to watch it. And I noticed the genre is not romance. It says like thriller, mystery, horror, whatever. So I immediately know, okay, I'm strapping myself in for not a romance film. But that film was whack. That film was whack, man. It
What?
it would
Like the whole movie?
look, bro. First of all, because I knew it was a thriller or something, I was patient. But nothing happened until those two old people jumped off the cliff. Now, when the lady jumped off the cliff and her head hit the rock and splattered, I know why you like that film. Like I immediately knew it. You love gore. Like you love gore.
No,
I
no, no, no,
even
no. I don't. I don't actually.
you
I prefer
don't.
psychological horror.
Oh, okay. Well, at that moment, I thought you did. I was like, I could see why, because they showed the gory part. Like they showed her head go. But the film, the build up was so slow, was so slow, and then it's like, okay, I'm assuming people who saw it had seen a trailer, so they knew it would pick up. But I knew nothing about the film other than the genre of thriller, or at least that was what was written. There were like four genres spelled out. So I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. Stay patient. You can't quit on the film. But Jesus Christ, and look, man, there's a fine line between like deep and intellectual, and then just dumb. So is it deep or is it dumb? I gotta go with the latter, man. That film was whack. Like,
Damn.
I mean, I kind of understand the idea, right? Where the dude tells her, like, here we're a commune and do everything together. When I lost my parents, I wasn't alone because people held me. And I kind of understood what they were going for because she lost, everybody died except her. So she lost her outside world, but came here and found family. A family that sticks together, unlike her sister who's bipolar, unlike the boyfriend who she doesn't know is going to hang around or not. And they're doing everything together. Literally, the girl is losing her virginity. There's a bunch of naked women there mimicking her moans. The May Queen is crying. We all cry with her. So I get it. Like we do everything together. But I'm just like, that film was whack. That film was whack. And guess what? Never going to Sweden.
Yeah, it had that effect on me too. It was like
Well,
I don't expect that this is real because if it was real, then they wouldn't be cool with, someone putting like basically revealing that truth to us, but it was scary enough. I mean, psychologically, like, for me to stay away from hippie communities or whatever.
hippie communities. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
was weird. It was creepy. It was creepy. I wouldn't say it was scary. It was creepy, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
The
Yeah, it wasn't scary per
the
se.
idea
Yeah.
that this commune is living the way it is, and they're intentionally making like very unclouded minded babies. I guess I should say like they're
Like the
intentionally being incestual to create a child with deformity. The idea that at 72 they just jump off and die. I don't know. It was just it went against everything from most cultures. Like what culture surrounds a girl as she's losing her virginity and chants on with her as she moans. Like it
well, we
that
might
that was
never
the
know.
creepy part. Like this is how I know that dude was scared. He ran around with his dick out. You see a dude with his dick out running, you run with him because obviously he's running from something that is enough for him to not care about the fact that his dick is out.
Well, you didn't think he was scared at the point where he walked into. I mean, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but you didn't think he was scared at the point where he walks into I don't know, a room or a barn or I don't know what to call it, a building, and then he sees someone suspended with their organs beaten and flowers in their eyes.
Bro, bro, that film was whack. Oh, it was whack. I mean, I it just
I take it that you
yeah.
don't really like horror movies, huh?
No, look, I like good horror, and here's my issue with
Yeah.
most horror films, and most horror enthusiasts won't agree with me. But I don't like the senseless monster. Like I need the monster to have a reason to be killing, right? And then
Okay.
I need there to be a resolution at the end. And then more importantly than all that,
Mm,
for my requirements for horror is I didn't do this in this film, so I'm not gonna ding them on it. I don't necessarily like jump scares. Like give me a vibe. Like I've seen films where I am creeped out and afraid the entire 90 to 120 minutes.
okay.
That's scary. Jump scares just go, oh, and then you're like you're okay again. Because it's just a jump.
Yeah.
You're startled, you're not scared. This film, I wouldn't class it as horror. I wasn't afraid at all, but it was just nobody exercised common sense or judgment.
But that's typical in horror movies. I
Mm,
mean, of course, I know I get where you're coming from, and I'll go into a little bit of, I think I might go into a little bit of that when I, try say what my thoughts are on the movie. But that was one of the first things I was going to say that, I mean, besides the fact that you need stupid characters to keep it, as in to to make a horror movie, or at least to build a story around. Other than that, I
sorry,
mean,
my dog's making a noise. Hold on.
that's fine.
Well, it's fine to you, but anyone who's listening, well, I guess they're putting up with that screeching noise that I can't isolate. So a dog barking isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep
Plus,
going. I interrupted you.
no, that's fine. So, I mean, one of the things I loved most about it was that I don't know if we addressed this during our recordings, but I know we've talked about it, in private, where we complained about the color grading in movies.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I particularly liked about this movie was that it was colorful. It was
It
vibrant,
was. No, no,
it
no. They
was
had a good
beautiful.
contrast. So if you notice in the early scenes, it was very drab. It was dark. They used minimal lighting even when indoors, and the way they dressed was darker bluish tones. So it's not dark beige where it's warm, it's dark blue, which is cold. And so it was very dark and very drab. And then when they went to Sweden, that's when everything brightened up.
Yeah, about around that time. Plus, another thing I really appreciated was how they were able to give us a good background in about 9 to 11 minutes. Just no,
Yeah.
as yeah, no, like like some other movies, there'd be exposition, there'd be like maybe somebody doing the voice. Is it like a voiceover or whatever, a narration or
Narrator.
whatever?
Yeah.
Nothing like that. No flashbacks. It was so quick, and that was one thing I appreciated. Um, then yeah, the use of the colors and the use of the imagery and the editing and the score, especially the scene where it's revealed to us that her family is gone, like basically where
Right.
they've been
Right.
killed. That was one of my favorite scenes, at least in the beginning. Then I think another part that I appreciated was how, even earlier on, we had this whole, like there was so much that was packed in that first about 11 minutes or so. They even managed to pack in a little debate about whether or not, the boyfriend was justified for feeling the way he felt and wanting to leave the relationship, and whether she was, justified for acting the way she did. And then they also gave us a shot of her meds, which basically reveal that she has, maybe an unusual level of anxiety or paranoia or whatever. And then
I'm
nothing.
I
Sorry,
was going to
or
add,
maybe
I'm
she was.
assuming the name of the medicine she was taking is something that's well known,
Yeah,
but
Ativan.
I just didn't know it. I didn't know what Ativan is.
Yeah, so it's like of course, we already know at this point that if the camera focuses on something and places it dead center, and leaves it for at least over a second
Read,
or two,
yeah.
like, yeah, it's definitely something that we're supposed to pay attention to. So like, And something that was a common theme in the movie was that they showed and then they explained. So they always try to drive home the ideas because of course, most audience unfortunately need things spelled out.
I'm sorry,
And
what did they explain?
no, it's just different things. Like that idea of family, it
Hmm.
was hinted at in the beginning and then it was repeated over like multiple times throughout the movie
I see
where
your point. Yeah,
the first thing one of the first she's the only okay, so when they got to the community or the commune, sorry, I
commune. Yeah,
commune or whatever, um one of the I don't recall if it was an elder, but I think he was an older guy that greeted them. He looked at her and well, I think she was the only one that he hugged and said,
yeah,
"Welcome home."
yeah.
So, that was supposed to be a hint initially, and then it was repeated over and over, with the guy who invited them over saying, "Oh, my family, this is a family, and oh, we do things together and whatever." So that I think stuff like that, maybe for someone like you, might have been irritating. And after a while, you could have
No,
felt like, come on, they could have sped this thing up because
maybe.
after a while, yes, like although I loved different things of different aspects of the movie, I know it's not perfect. It's a movie I love, but one problem that I also felt, or something I felt was a problem with the movie, was that after a while, it was like I know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
It's like we all know what's going to happen. It's just these dumbasses in the movie that don't know what's going to happen. So it started to get annoying at a point, and then somewhere where it kind of lost me was the end. I'm sorry, maybe Game of Thrones is the most recent heartbreak that I've had when it comes to movies. Oh, sorry, not movies, film or
Endings.
television endings. But I kind of felt like, yeah, she was upset with her boyfriend, fucking some other chick. But I mean, it's kind of a stretch to go from because she didn't seem like a murderous person. So it's kind of a stretch to go from I'm really upset right now to yo, between you and this other person that I don't know, I think you should burn.
Yeah,
And
but
then
but in
that
that
final scene
regard,
where she actually smiles. I mean, I get it that they did everything as a family, so maybe she wasn't smiling because she was happy. Maybe she was smiling because her family was laughing in the background or in an
mm,
ecstatic state, and then she joined them in that. But it just seemed like a stretch.
just to defend her choice of choosing him, what I mean, I spent the entire film just trying to figure suss out. Sorry, it's my dog again. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can, and it's
I
frustrating.
can.
Oh, okay. Damn it, Pepper. Anyway, one thing I spent the entire movie trying to figure out was just like, okay, who's gonna survive? Now, obviously, the two people who reacted to the death of the old people, the way everyone should have reacted, had to go. Uh, the dude pissed on the tree. Yeah, that guy's goner. I was
He
like,
was a dumbass. He had to go from the beginning. I was like, that's the first guy that's gonna get
yeah,
killed.
yeah. He was the big idiot, and like,
Yeah.
I was just like, he's gotta go. And then I was like, will the black guy make it? Hmm, hmm.
Well, we never ever make it.
Yeah, and then just like the movie kept progressing, and I was like starting to root for the boyfriend. I was like, maybe, just maybe he'll make it. I was like, yeah, he won't.
Yeah,
And
because they
then
made him an asshole. He didn't need to be, but he started to come off as just a typical boyfriend in, a thriller or a horror movie, just dismissive and just all around not good.
yeah, no, no, he was a douche for sure. And I don't know, man. Like, if the film was just whack, like the idea is a little off. It was 2.5 hours long. Like, fuck me. You could have made it 2 hours or hour 40. You could have told a story in like what 40 minutes. It could have been an episode on a TV show. There was just so much build up to, like you said, we know where this is going. And then it's just, what's your takeaway from that film? Like, what's your takeaway?
Um,
Because I mean, I walked away. I learned nothing. I did not feel much because I kept thinking the entire film these people are idiots and are behaving in a way they shouldn't behave. So I'm losing empathy. Hold on, because my dog, I gotta get her her ball, otherwise she'll just start crying for no reason. Let me pause the recording. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Blame the dog. She ate my homework. Where was I?
Fucking bitch.
Right, it was like I'm losing empathy with them the more stupid they are. Right,
Okay.
so I'm not really rooting for them. Fuck, that actually took the wind out of me. Damn it. um, what was I even saying? I completely lost it.
No, I mean, I think you were just trying to get
Yeah,
stuff off
yeah.
your chest
What I
about
was
what you
saying
didn't
was
like.
it went way too long because I'm not invested in the characters. I don't care if they survive or not. And then what did I take away from the film? I don't have a new outlook on life. I haven't learned anything. I don't feel anything. I just basically watched a bunch of idiots go to a commune and die. Cool. Like you witness two people, no, you witness one woman jump to her death, and then you witness the murder of another person. Then the two foreigners, surprisingly, despite what their reactions and like, despite what they've shown you throughout the film, do something against their character. You completely sweep it under the rug. As the film progresses, more and more of your friends start disappearing, and all you're worried about their damn thesis. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would have liked to see that, there was like a realistic response when people started to disappear, whether it be, at least somehow they would communicate with us, the viewers, that maybe there was some kind of sense of dread, like maybe they were afraid for their lives, but maybe they were trying to mask it by maybe just going along or something. Because at least with the boyfriend, you could tell that
Yeah.
he was scared, at least from the point where she became the May Queen, because they separated two of them. So he was drugged up and knowing like, okay, something is definitely going wrong here. And, she was, far away from him, and he was trying to get the next person to him to at least acknowledge whatever. And when the guy did the hand clap thing, it was like, oh shit, I'm fucked. But what I didn't get was like it didn't him going along, like when the lady threw down the rose petals or whatever, the flowers down to lead him to the house. I didn't get the sense that he was doing it because he was afraid. It seemed like, oh, I'm drugged up. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like I'm a robot
Mm,
right now.
there's that the I think Mark, the dude that pissed on the tree. This chick says,
Yeah,
"Come over, I'll show you." There was no flirtatious vibe. So later on, when they say, "Oh, you think he's still out with that girl?" and they go, "No doubt," like really, I don't think there was any vibe that says, "Oh, we're gonna bang." Just
yeah. Plus. I mean, putting myself in those shoes, like I'm not going to want to go to a commune and start fucking because, for one, I'm imagining that those girls have afros down there. Like,
regardless of that point, you're
I
not
know,
even
I know I'm extreme, but I'm just saying, I'm imagining like, do they use deodorant? Do they have afros down there? Like, what are we like? I want there to be a build up. I don't want you to
that
just take off your freaking frock or whatever it is that you're wearing, and then, oh shit, we just get the banging. Like, I
that
want something.
wasn't where I was going with that. Where I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna go with is those women obviously like quote unquote belong to the other men of that tribe or whatever. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
you're
okay.
this
So you don't.
outsider and you're coming in and you're gonna start fucking with the women.
Oh yeah. You are the smart one, a smarter one.
I don't think smarter. I think your train of thought was just led by your penis there. You were all, no, no, no,
Yeah.
I'd smash, but like if she shaves. Like,
No, 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 but bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to think like Mark. Okay, so I'm not
oh,
saying that
okay.
this is Akin thinking. I'm just like, oh, I want to smash, right? But it's like, yeah, I want to smash, but is she that hot? I mean, what is it about this girl that's going to get me going? Because But anyway, and people are different, so I guess I'm not Mark. So
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll put it this way. I don't know who directed that film, but I'm not in a rush to see any of his other work.
he's okay. So he did
And
some other work. Okay,
I'm not talking about filmmaking. I'm talking about story, because there really was no story.
so here's the thing. Okay, I saw one of his other movies by accident, and that was a movie. No, and I say by accident because I think I'd heard the buzz. I'd seen
What was the
like
film?
a partial trailer. Shit. Uh, all of a sudden, the name just disappeared.
Yeah.
But no, no, no. I'll
It
send
was
it to you, not
forgettable.
to
I
watch.
get it.
It wasn't forgettable. It wasn't forgettable. But it was well done. Like it wasn't about jump scares or anything. It was just well done. In my eyes, it was well done horror. It wasn't at least
Good, good.
as long as it's not jump scares or whatever. That's good in my book.
Dude, I have
This
nothing.
this
I have nothing against jump scares. It's just
I
it
hate
has to
them.
be.
I despise them.
Oh, okay. I don't despise them. I dislike them, but I think there has to be more to the movie than you just startling me. I get startled easily. You come into my room without knocking. Odds are you're going to startle me. It's easy to do. I shit you not. One time I was walking and it was like 2, maybe 3 a.m. and I
Yeah.
literally startled myself with my own shadow. Like it doesn't take much to make me jump. So, so if that's all your film has to offer, I'll pass.
Yeah, it I thought was okay, except for where it started to get really slow. But I don't know if it was the editing, if I should blame the editing, the story, or it was everything combined. But I
Ah,
liked I liked I liked the editing in the first half, well, not first half, before they got to Sweden.
okay.
Especially like up on so before they got to Sweden, like when they were in the airplane. Oh no, when they were on the road, and then the shot does a 180. I really like
Right,
that.
right.
That
Okay, so
was
when I saw
or
that, I started to think, are the curtains blue because the writer just thought they were blue, or were they blue to try to show us that the character is like sad and melancholy and all that? I was like, what is the director saying here? Did he just think this was artistic, or is he telling me the world is about to get flipped upside down?
yeah, that was what I got from that. Like
Right.
especially with the score, like that sound or whatever, that it just communicated dread to me. Like shit is about to go sideways.
But then he fucked it up by then showing us the 180 again as they reverted back to the normal orientation, which just goes to say it's like, no, we're just on a trip. And I don't know. He started it off well and then fucked it up. And then what was the point of them meeting before going to the commune and getting high on shrooms? It didn't lend to the story or the character development. It was very unnecessary, and at a 2.5 hour film, that should have just been left on the editing room floor, in my opinion.
Um, when I was watching it, for some reason, that scene, I think it was more of just the idea where, or an idea, a common theme in the movie where stuff was repeated just to drive home the point. I think it
Okay,
was partially partially trying to show us her paranoia. I think so.
okay, yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I
Because
mean,
yeah, because for the most part during that scene or that act or whatever it's called, I need to learn more about movies or film. But at that like she sees the stuff growing through her hands, and then somebody says something about, oh, you guys are like my family. Okay, yeah, yeah. So that set her off when
okay,
Mark said, and then she gets up, she goes, and then she starts freaking out, and then you could tell that there's a lot going on with this girl. Like people are laughing. She thinks that they're laughing at her. Like she's
but
all sorts of fucked up.
you could just sum that down to a bad trip.
Yeah, but in the movie, I mean, I think it goes to this idea of Chekhov, is it Chekhov's gun or whatever? I don't know if you've ever heard of that, where it's like you don't show well in a good story, I would say a good story, you don't show something and just let it go. Like for instance, if let's say you talk about someone's gun, like you take the time to talk about someone's gun in a story, then that gun better serve a
Yep,
purpose.
yeah. I think I
So,
spoke to you about that when we were talking procedural
y-
cop shows.
yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
in a
But
sense.
I mean, let's just divert and tell that story, or do you think it's unnecessary?
You could go into it, yeah.
We were talking about the procedural cop shows, and I had this English teacher who told us if you ever want to know who the killer is in those shows, just look for the character who's not really involved with the plot. She's like, if he's not involved with the plot, odds are he's the murderer because otherwise the writers wouldn't have created that character. She was like, characters are hard to create. So if they created him, he must serve a purpose. If he doesn't serve a purpose in the episode, odds are he's the killer. And that's just it falls true for most of those procedural cop shows that you watch. So I kind of get what you're saying. They show us a gun, and writers aren't sitting around going, "What if there was a gun that was completely unnecessary?" Like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I will say,
Yes.
I will say this: Quentin Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs, that scene in the restaurant where they're chatting and they're talking about Madonna's like a virgin lyrics, completely unnecessary from the film.
He does a lot of that. So I'm sure maybe over time, people will break the rules about, Chekhov's gone or whatever, or as your English teacher had pointed out, because I would love to create characters that basically mislead people into thinking one
That's
thing.
fair.
So
That's fair.
yeah, but I liked the idea behind the movie that it was a breakup film. I like
It
the
wasn't though.
It was
How's a breakup film? Enlighten me.
because they broke up in the end.
We didn't break
It
up.
was it was no, it was a fucked up
He
breakup.
cheated
Yeah,
on her, and then she killed
but
him.
but
Well, she had him killed.
but here's the thing. I mean, we know that that part was kind of forced because in the beginning they already had problems and nobody was the bad guy. At least from what we came to understand, she
That's
just
fair.
had a lot that she was dealing with, and
And he
of
was
course,
tired. He did his
yeah.
best, but he was tired.
But he was a good boyfriend. He
He
was a good
was. He
boyfriend
was.
because
He
he
stuck her.
stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he did things because of her, but all of a sudden, down the line, he starts to do certain things that I don't think, like, at least with the person that they'd already built him up to be, the character that they developed, it just didn't really make sense. Like, yes, we could excuse it saying that he did whatever he did because he was under the influence or he was scared, but
I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
she killed. So
What was the
ultimately, I
breakup?
don't.
I didn't hear a single. It's not you. It's me. I didn't hear a single. I'm just focusing on my career right now. I
The
didn't hear.
breakup
We
was
need
in
to
him
talk.
getting killed. No, the breakup to me was in her basically saying, "Yo, burn
He
him
cheated.
alive."
He cheated. She chose him to die. I don't see where it's a
It's
breakup.
still it's still a breakup movie. The only thing about it is that it's a
You
breakup
just
movie in a
said that.
different
You just
sense.
said that to butter me up so that I wouldn't fight you on the film to watch, and I would have to endure that soon. I mean, I'll get you back because at one point I'll be making calls on
I
which movies to
know.
watch, and
Yeah,
I will.
I
I'll
know you'd
find
have me
romance
watch
films.
Casablanca.
I didn't. I wasn't thinking it. I was thinking Love Story from the '70s, or was it something like that? And that
Fuck
is the
me.
longest. Like I love a good romance film, and that film was tough for me to like get through. So I was like, man, Akeen, I'm just gonna. I mean, just the name, Love Story. Just think about it, man. I'm gonna get you for that. I've never seen the Titanic from beginning to end. I've always like come in the middle and left before it finishes because it was always on TV, like on playbacks. Maybe we'll watch the Titanic. I don't know. All I know is I will get you back for making me endure this film.
Look at things a different way. Would the viewers care to watch something from the 70s
They can
or
skip
a
that
romantic?
episode.
You just want to put me through it. Okay, okay. But it's going to be a short review.
Nah, nah,
It'll just be loved it. Nah.
nah. Love Story was chill, but it's not worth. I don't want to rewatch it. I have no
Yeah.
intention of watching Titanic. I have a couple of movies in mind, and we'll get to them when we get to them.
Damn, bro. Like even that look on your face is like, yo,
No, no, no. I
I
think
gotta really think about how I'm
one of
gonna
the
fuck you up.
No, no, no. I think I've chosen a film that it's a good balance between like lovey-dovey romance and like, no, this film isn't about the love. It's about something else. And I
Yeah.
think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the choice. And then
Well,
my
I
other
hope so.
choice will be something really goofy, like. So I love that in the film she goes, "Oh, if they're interested, the kids are watching Austin Powers." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like that just came out of left field. Like, and why are you letting kids watch Austin Powers? Like, come on now.
Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that the kids were watching. I was just like, oh, they're modern. I I totally missed that part. Like kids watching because I mean, not that I was a kid, but there was no
Teen.
supervision when I watched that, so
I mean, teen, like at least 13. Otherwise, you'll miss all the sexual innuendo, and it's just a silly film.
but yeah, yeah, I liked it. I think probably because of what it could be. I also liked that it wasn't just jump scares, and I think it also had a special place in my heart because I've been into movies like pagan like the 70s type of horror movies. So I felt like that was kind of like a love letter to those kind of movies, like The
Mhm.
Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man, not the one with Nicolas Cage.
Well, I thoroughly disenjoyed it, unenjoyed. I hated it. You know,
Yeah.
uh, I have nothing else to add. It was just it wasn't even like a bad film in the way it was made or that it was slow. It was just whack. It was just whack. It just made no sense. Like the fuck is going on? Why are they jumping to their death at 70? Why are they sacrificing 9 people? Why did they go to find these schmucks? Why did these schmucks agree to go? Why did no? I don't know. It's just yeah, not my cup of tea.
Well, I think the few things we could take away from man, we could end on that note would be drugs are bad, okay? Yeah.
And Austin Powers made for all ages.
Oh yeah, and yeah, when you're around hippies all smiling and shit, just
Bring a razor if
yeah,
you're gonna planning on fucking just
hell fucking yeah.
All right, guys. This has been Midsummer. I think before the recording, Keenan and I agreed the next film we were going to review is The Platform. It's on Netflix. It's in Spanish, so there's an audio track if you want to listen to an English dubbed version. But check it out, and we'll be back next week to review that. Thanks, and I don't have anything else after thanks. So goodbye. Till
Fuck
next week.
off. No, I'm kidding.
You can't tell our friends to fuck
Bye.
off.
No, hey, they're friends though. They're like my imaginary friends.
Well, I mean, right now our fan base really is imaginary. It's just, we're basically doing this for me, you, and us when we rewatch it. Like,
Yeah.
anyway,
I mean,
if
yeah.
there are any subscribers or viewers or anything, we hope you enjoyed our breakdown or discussion of Midsummer, and see you next week for the platform. And don't fuck off. Thank you.